Hit it.
Allons manger.
Yes. So what that means is let's eat.
Oh, okay.
See, you thought, man, I wouldn't set you up like that, bro.
Yeah, man. I'm more prepared to drink, but that's cool. We can eat.
Yeah, and what is it? Go ahead, get your little drink.
I'm just saying, man. I got like a whole bar set up over here, man. Depending on where the conversation goes. So.
Okay, sweet. So okay, so here's what's happening. So what I started off is I asked you, what is your favorite food of all time? What's your favorite food of all time?
Mama spaghetti.
Mama spaghetti. Okay.
Like Eminem.
Okay, look, great. And so then the next question that comes up is, since we're in this coronation, what has been your go-to favorite food? Because you can't get Mama spaghetti.
That's right. My go-to favorite food probably is orange chicken from Panda Express, man.
Wow.
Orange chicken and fried rice, man. It's like I've been doing that way too much.
I'm about to say, hey, bro, orange chicken a lot? Dang.
I've been doing it way too much, man.
Check that sodium, man. Check that sodium.
Listen, I drink a lot of water, man. I try to douse it, just to water it down. Between that and Chick-fil-A, it's a problem.
Right. So this is All Things Music for y'all who don't know. All Things Music, we talk about all things music. And I met Adell, man, about, let's say, 5-6 years ago when I was getting certified. Well, before I was getting certified to be an ETA speaker, when I was just a part of the Breathe University fam, and it was a W Hotel in Atlanta, right?
Yep, in Buckhead.
In Buckhead, see, Buckhead.
Still Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? But to get a little bit more specific, there's a few W hotels.
Right. The bougie one in Buckhead, not the soulful one in Bankhead.
Right, exactly. We talking about the one next to Lenox Mall.
Do they even have one in Bankhead?
Oh, that's a good question.
I don't think they do.
I don't know. I don't think I'll be, you know what? I'll tell you this. They will.
Come on.
Unfortunately, that's one of the places where they're targeted to gentrify. Oh
man. But anyway, okay. We can't solve the world's problems. We can't solve. All we can do is deal with this. So look. So yeah, we met there, and we just get to talking, and man, we hanging the whole week. The whole weekend. It was 3-4 days, something like that. And then, he about to go back to the room. We didn't hung out all day long. And I say, yo, man, what you do? I've been seeing you around here with this camera. I was like, man, what you do? He said, well, I'm just, tell me what you said. Tell me what you said. He's on like, I'm just,
I don't remember what I said. What do you remember me saying? I got an idea what I said.
He said, hey, man, I'm just here hanging out, man. I'm saying, I'm just giving back.
Word. I mean, that sounds about right. I mean, that's one of those type of situations, man. Usually when I'm out, man, I'm pretty, pretty low key, especially when I'm in that behind the scenes mindset. I, was, a fan of, everything that E.T. and CJ, Carl, the whole team were doing. And, we crossed paths and, just really clicked. And, anytime I had an opportunity to support, the movement, what they were doing, I was like, like all hands on deck, man. I'd like to not only be in that type of space, but, I just love to feed off the energy. I love to learn.
Yeah.
So, one of those types, like I literally was just, attempted to blend in, even though I had a camera, helping to document the situation. So
look,
I'm just here.
Who say that? Oh yeah, Doc, you was blending in, Doc.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? But I go around, man, and I try to make everybody, even though it ain't my thing, I always go around and try to meet as many people as possible, make everybody feel comfortable. I saw you had a camera, so I figured you were like part of the crew, but you're like, nah, man, I'm just here taking pictures, man. I'm just giving back. I was like, okay, sweet. And then we got talking, and then I got mad.
Don't get mad, man.
I mean, not mad, like, but just like, man, how you gonna downplay? Yeah, look.
But listen, like now you had to start digging though. You had to start digging because usually a lot of the surface people, I'm able to go ahead and shift and keep it moving because I'm definitely a slash. I mean, I've been fortunate and blessed over these last 25 plus years, man, to be able to work in so many different spaces and do so many different things. So like one of the cool things and one of the things that sucks about moving the way I've moved over the years is that I don't really stay too much in the moment. I'm always on to the next thing, man. So I'm not even really tripping off of, just legacy and, what was happening way back then, or, just what happened 10 minutes ago. So, so yeah, it's like usually you gotta, do some digging or, some arm twisting. So I really appreciate that persistence. And then you start to pull out, some of the things, that I've been a part of. So it's been pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, man. And so the biggest thing, like y'all, what y'all gonna find out now, the biggest thing I pulled out. What up, Big Caesar? What up, Wendy? I'm hollering at everybody because I can see y'all this real. Hey,
Uh,
hey, Charlotte, what's going on? Hey, cuz Carolyn, what's going on? Okay, so now,
man, I'm gonna have to move my screens around so I can see something too, man.
yeah, man. So Big C, you gonna like this. So I'm talking to my man, right? And he says, yeah, man, I was part of this little magazine, And I was like, really, what magazine, man? And he said, King magazine. I was like, man, what up, Finny? What up, Finny? So yeah, so I'm like, King magazine, bro? Seriously?
Ah, man.
King magazine. King
Dude,
magazine.
man. Dude, man. It was an experience, man.
Yeah, man.
It was a cool experience that and it was a really, really dope chapter, man, that I can't I don't know. It's crazy to think back to it. Like I said, because even at that time, man, I was operating so much in the space to where, I was just on to the next thing. I was, from issue to issue, from, story to story. It was always, just a thing to where I just would never allow myself to really enjoy the moment, because I was just like, man, we got to figure out what that next thing is. So
Wait, before we go on to, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Okay, so before I go too deep and before we get too deep in all of this,
yeah,
let me just say that if you're wondering how having someone who was now what was your official title with King Magazine?
I was the West Coast editor.
Okay, for somebody who was the West Coast editor of King Magazine, how he fits in all things music is because they had a whole bunch of artists in the magazine.
Oh,
I say on the pages in the magazine.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And and usually when I bring people on here, it's like we talking backstage in the green room. And so it's really important for me to give some value to the people who are watching this, because I know y'all can watch anything you want. You can be looked at, right, especially right now when everything is online.
Yeah.
So I want to give value back. And so let's talk about the fact that you were in a situation in which you were around the top of Black entertainment, and you didn't live in the moment. Talk about how you didn't live in the moment.
Well,
You were just about to talk about it. So just talk, you realize you don't live in the moment.
no, I mean, I think a part of it is, ever since I was a kid, I think the light bulb went off for me probably around 8, 9 years old. Just getting a feel for, what I want to do when I grew up.
Yeah.
And like I knew I wanted to be a part of, entertainment. One of the first things that, clicked into my mind was, the television and film side. But I've always been extremely passionate about music. So, for that to be a part of the, experience too, it just all made sense. So, primarily me, my life journey career-wise has been surrounded around, music, television, film, um, radio, print publishing. And
Yeah.
so I was fortunate, like I said, when I was really, really young to discover that, hey, I feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. So when I start to find myself in these situations and in these rooms and with these opportunities in front of me, I embraced them wholeheartedly, and it never felt like I wasn't supposed to be there.
Right.
That's why I think I got to that point to where I started to, not trip off of what was going on in real time, because I was always thinking about like, okay, that end goal. You know, I was definitely a BET Video Soul Donnie Simpson baby. You know, and
Johnny, Johnny, Johnny Simpson, Johnny Simpson.
so one of the things I'll never forget, how I used to close out. You know, shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll still be amongst the stars. And so I've always shot for the moon. So when I hit these different milestones, I didn't trip because I'm like, man, I'm still going. Like I still have, you know, that long goal that I haven't hit yet. So I never allow myself to get caught up in the moment.
Right, right, right. You know, and I mean, getting caught up in the moment, but you want to talk about some things that you might have missed and didn't really fully appreciate?
Now, I will say, in my lifetime, I've come to realize that there are definitely pros and cons when it comes to that type of mindset.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cons.
Give me some cons. Give me some cons.
I mean, one, when you really think about it, you know, one of the biggest assets that we have access to is time.
Right, right.
You know, time is something, you know, just so valuable that it's easy to take things for granted. It's either to take people for granted.
Yeah, yeah.
It's easy to take a moment, an experience, you know, for granted when you're not paying attention. And I came to realize, man, even you know, recently within the last, you know, I'm 45 now. Just turned 45 in April, but man, easily within this last 3, 4, 5 years of us, you know, knowing one another, it's like I started to realize, like, yo, I've missed a lot. I haven't really been paying attention to what was going on, and I've you know, it's like I've missed a lot with. I mean, you know, my mother, you know, died, you know, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So obviously that put things in perspective when you think about, like, man, you know, time that was lost, and
Right.
you know, woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Boy, the woulda, coulda, shouldas, man. God.
Right. So I mean, I have a 9-year-old daughter, and I literally remember things sort of clicking for me, you know, about 3 years ago, to where I was just like, where it really, really, I had this overwhelming feeling of like, wow, I'm somebody's like father.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
And I'm talking about, I mean, I'm there with her every single day.
And it clicked when she was how old?
6.
6. So that
I'm there with her every single day. I made it a point once she came around, once she was born, I made it a point, because I used to travel a lot. I made it a point, you know, to travel a lot less, you know, to you know, do my best to physically be as present as possible, as engaging as possible.
yeah.
But it took a lot for me to come to the, you know, realization that, you know, I just wasn't, you know, present. That's what that mindset was. I didn't realize that I just wasn't present for a lot.
Yeah, you was hustling so hard.
Yeah. A lot of things I was there for, but I wasn't present for.
Ooh.
Yeah. Write that down.
Ooh. You put that in the comments, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Real talk.
I was there for a lot of things. There for a lot of things. But I wasn't present.
Yep. Yeah.
I typed that right. Yeah, okay. Bruh, there for a lot of things, but you wasn't present. Wow.
Yeah, real talk.
Wow. Okay, well, look, man. Look, let's just get into it. Let's just get into King Magazine. So young Adell, right? Young Adell.
Yeah.
What are you thinking about in 5th grade in high school?
Wait, which grade?
5th grade to high school. I mean,
you said 5th grade to high school?
Grade to high school. You know what I'm saying? Were you always the same cat through high school? You know, from elementary, middle, high, same cat?
Absolutely, man.
What were your main concerns back then?
Trying not to get shot. It's crazy to think about that, though, man. It's like, I mean, as you can see in the background, man, you know, I grew up in Flint, Michigan, man. Flint, Michigan. It's Dude, it's rough, man.
Come on, man.
Flint, Michigan is a very rough blue collar town.
Yeah.
You know, I man, just love it, man. It was the best, man. It was the best. But I didn't. It took for me to leave Flint though to realize, how dangerous it was. It took me to leave Flint to realize how abnormal our lifestyles was.
Right.
Growing up in the inner city.
Give me an example. Because a lot of people might not. A lot of people might not. They think you might be sensationalizing.
Oh, people dying. People getting shot a lot. Even on my block. Like, oh man, such and such got killed. Oh, such and such got killed. Oh man, or my older siblings. My big brother, he's 9 years older than me. Older sister, 8 years older. Then I have another sister that's 4 years older. So as a kid, I would literally, remember seeing their friends, hanging out across the street at the park. Then I'm reading about them in the metro section of the newspaper, or, I'm hearing like, oh man, such and such got killed, and it was just a constant thing.
Wow.
It was a constant thing, and I was just thinking about this recently because, I think I was, 1985, I'm 10 years old, around 85, that's when crack.
Yeah, crack hit hard. Crack, it started in 83, the 81 to 84, it was building. But then after the war on drugs, it's almost like they influxed the hood with the drugs to have the war.
Come on, man.
Almost like.
Come on, man. So there's a lot of people getting money, and a lot of people, just man, getting taken out, man. So that was a part of, my reality, and somehow, that was a part of my norm, though.
Yeah,
that's the weird thing. It was a part of my norm. So it wasn't, you're talking about between 5th grade and 12th grade, man, the amount of gunshots I heard, the, amount of fights, that I've seen or, been in, or, the crime and, just all these different things that, you're surrounded around. For outsiders who never had that experience, I can see it's easy to assume like, oh man, what's wrong with them? Man, they just, they're just, they're animals. They're sick. Something's wrong. It's like products of our environment.
PTSD for sure.
PTSD for sure. Very, very real.
Yeah.
Very real, man.
So when did you realize that you had a tumultuous upbringing?
Oh, when I went to college.
Where'd you go to college?
Michigan State.
Oh, so did you know No, you didn't know ET back then.
Nah, didn't know ET back then. This was long before.
Yeah, before he even went back to the thing.
Yeah.
What else? Did CJ go to that? You and CJ about the same age?
Nah, CJ's younger. CJ's almost 10 years younger.
Okay. Yeah.
But man, when I went to Michigan State, I remember, freshman year, just sitting up kicking it, all of the black kids, gravitate towards one another. We hang out, play cards, kick it, and be telling stories, and it'd be like, man, growing up was crazy. I remember high school, we used to do X, Y, and Z, and man, it was crazy. Oh man, I had a moment like that too with my boy. We went to the club, man, they start shooting and and then it's like every time we would get into that sort of back and forth exchanges of, crazy times growing up, a lot of times people stop like, no, I never experienced that. And I remember it got to the point to where I started to hear that more regularly, and I started to just like, okay, maybe Flint was a little different.
Maybe Flint was a little different than all these other spots.
Yeah, either Flint was a little different, or just just the lifestyle that I was a part of, because when you go to school, it's just such a wide range of people. You have certain people who may be from the inner city, even if they're black, they may be from the suburbs or private school, all these different layers. But yeah, by far, I like that's when it really start to click to me. Like, okay, I grew up a little different.
Right, right. So you survived. You beat the statistics by getting to college, first of all.
Right, 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 right.
And let me ask you this: was the water bad back then in Flint?
No,
Okay. When did
no,
the water get bad?
but you know what? But you know what? Maybe it was. And this, you know what? Okay, let's go ahead and jump right into that.
Yeah,
So perspective.
everything.
Just to put something in perspective in terms of the whole idea of dirty, filthy water, and probably one of the main reasons why the Flint River was not our water source. You got to think, it's like, why were we getting our water from the Detroit River? Why was that our primary water source, especially if it, costs more money to get money from the get our water
Yeah,
from the Detroit River as opposed to the Flint River?
yeah.
Why wouldn't we start off with the Flint River in the first place if it was not that bad? Okay, let's do some very simple math. A lot of people don't realize that they call Flint, Michigan, the vehicle city. Now, you may think about Detroit and think
Right,
like, yeah, Detroit's the motor city.
right,
Think of Motown, the motor city,
right.
but Flint is vehicle city. Why do they call Flint vehicle city? A lot of people don't realize that General Motors, that big company you might know about, General Motors was founded in Flint, Michigan.
Oh, okay, okay.
General Motors, this company that's over 100 years old,
Right, right,
it's
right.
probably at least 110, 15 years old now, founded in the city of Flint, Michigan,
Come on.
right? So when you think about factory towns,
Yeah,
manufacturing,
yeah,
assembly lines,
yeah.
all these chemicals, where are they dumping all of these chemicals?
I got you.
When I
So,
tell you, even when I was a kid, the Flint River was one of the most disgusting things, to be. There wasn't nobody trying to take a dip in the Flint River.
they wasn't fishing there either, huh? No crabbing in the.
There
In
was
the
some people that were fishing and getting nasty fish up out of there, but
oh.
yeah, man, Flint River has always been disgusting.
Wow,
Always been
that's
disgusting.
that's
Yeah.
crazy. Okay, so cool. So you don't even remember if it was dirty water or not when you was young.
No, we were drinking that water. No, but the thing is, like, we weren't drinking out of the Flint River, though. That's what I'm saying. You got to understand, our water source when I grew up was,
So when did that change? So the water source, the Flint, Michigan River now, the Flint River now.
yes. So the thing is, once again, General Motors, like Flint, Michigan, long time factory town.
Yeah,
Flint, Michigan, when you talk about, I don't know, probably 60s, definitely 70s, 80s, people were moving to Flint left and right because you could
right.
get a job with
Yeah,
like,
stop. Left and right. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You don't need no experience. You don't need no diploma. You can just walk in and get yourself a nice factory job working at General Motors, working at Buick,
yeah.
Fisher Body, like any of these different places, right? So a lot of people are gravitating to this town. So when they got to the point to where they started to say, hey, we could go ahead and outsource some of this work. We could go ahead and take some, this work to, places like Mexico, get a lot cheaper labor. And like they started to move these different factories away from the city. We start to lose a lot of jobs. We start to lose a lot of money.
Okay, so then
Right?
then then they couldn't afford the water no more. Is what you're saying?
So what I'm telling you is, by the time the water source got switched over, our city was bankrupt.
Right.
Right? Our city was bankrupt. So it got to the point where the city got, to the point where it got bankrupt. The state was like, hey, you guys are not capable of running your own city or making any type of decisions in terms of your elected officials. So what we're going to do is we're going to take over your city and make all the decisions for you. Because obviously you all are incompetent or unable to do these type of things on your own. So the governor at that time, Governor Schneider Crook, decided, okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to give you an emergency like city manager who's
Yeah.
going to come in and oversee your
Yeah.
city.
Right.
He's going to work with your elected officials, but he's going to oversee the city and make all of the tough decisions for you.
Yeah.
One of the things that this dude did was he came in and was like, man, it's costing a lot of money. What different things can we do to cut corners and save money, in the city, to go ahead and try to, get this whole budget under control and try to, put you guys in a place to where you could actually, start, stop losing so much money and,
Yeah.
have an upswing. So one of the things that he decided to cut back on was water. It was like, you know what? It costs X amount of dollars to get water sourced out of the Detroit River. But if we figured out a way to put some chemicals in the Flint River and change this as a water source, then we could probably save a little, a couple of dollars by switching from the Detroit River to the Flint River. That's a good idea, huh? Let me discuss it with my boys at the state. All right, cool. I got the green light to do it. I'm going to go ahead and do that. So that's what they did. That water was so disgusting and corrupt to where it started to rot the pipes, eat away at the copper pipes. And once they got to the point to where they decided, first of all, they knew and could have reeled up and switched back, but pride or whatever else allowed them to go ahead and go through the process.
Wow.
And they got to the point to where they knew about it and they were communicating to people who work for the state, who were working out of state buildings in Flint, like, hey, don't drink
the water.
We're going to send you these bottles of water. Don't drink the water. Right? I mean, there's documentation, there's emails, all of that, letting, they knew about it, but didn't inform the residents, and still had the residents, consuming not only this water, but put it on their bodies, all this stuff, breaking out, getting, just lead poisoning, seizures, all that. So then by the time they figured that they couldn't, hold on to that information any longer, and it started to, come out and get exposed, it was too late to reverse it. The pipes had been corrupt, rotted so much to where it's not, even when they, even if they, we're going to switch back over to the Detroit River.
Can't do it.
The pipes are already corroded.
And so they just never fixed the system.
Now it's like, you got to go in the ground.
You got to fix the system. So you got to
shut those pipes and replace them. Just imagine going through a city and having to replace pipes.
You got to bust the whole city up. You got to bulldoze the whole city and start over. You can't see that happen. Okay, man.
So here we are 6 years later.
Hey, again, Adell. Hey, we're gonna stick to stuff we can change. I'm glad I asked you that question because I've never heard that story before. We just hear about where it is now, and we don't know how it happened. I'm sure it's an easily Googleable. I don't know if Googleable is a word now, but I just made it.
People are gonna Google it because they, out of sight, out of mind. They feel as if, okay, it must be wrong. It must be over. It's not a hashtag anymore, and people not really, talking about it a lot. So it's probably over, right? No.
Dang. Okay, bro. Okay, so, man. Okay, so you made it out. You made it out of Flint. You didn't have no skin poisoning. You ain't coming with no internal poison from drinking the water. You made it out. You go to Michigan State. Spartans. Did you graduate, bro?
I did.
Man, not only did you go, but you graduated.
5 years, man. I did.
Hey, 6.5.
Yeah, and I tell you the interesting thing about that, I did that for my mother. I did. It was two reasons. My mother was the main motivation. I wanted to go ahead and get her that degree and walk across that stage, for her, because I knew the industry that I was pursuing, entertainment. Nobody was going to ever ask me for a degree.
Ooh, now look, that was a great segue. So when did you know that was the industry you were going to pursue?
Like I said, I was probably 8, 9 years old.
Oh, so you knew at 8, 9 years old that you wanted to be in the entertainment industry?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know why I missed that. Maybe I was just stressing and making sure that the stream was going to work. Yep. Okay. So now you graduate. What'd you graduate in?
I had a degree, a bachelor's in communications.
Okay, cool.
And emphasis in interpersonal communication.
Cool. So now you graduate, and what's the next move?
New York City.
Oh, you go straight to New York.
New York City. So
you jump in the fight.
No, so I started while I was in school. I started spending summers in New York after
Okay.
my second year. After my second year, I would go because really, as soon as I stepped foot on campus, and that's one of the things, man. It's Damon John has a thing that he says relating to the idea of like, man, in order to hit a target, you got to set one, right? So it's a lot of people that aimlessly try to figure out what they're going to do with their lives or how they're going to get there. But it's like, dude, you're wasting so much time because you're not even, if you don't have any type of direction. Like I never understood like how some people would come to college and they don't pick a major, they're undecided. Even if you don't really know exactly, I mean, pick something, right? Just like go into some direction. um and you just go from there. So for me and knowing that entertainment was going to be my path and it was going to be there, and it's like in knowing how you can really manifest things, you can speak things into reality. I didn't know any people in entertainment, but I knew that this is where I was going to be at a
Yeah.
high level. So when I tell you that very first semester that I set foot on campus, I met some people that was in my dorm.
Come on.
One guy in particular that was in my dorm who was a part of a minority video production that was funded by the student government. It was a student government organization.
Yeah.
And one of the things that this organization did was the previous year they produced like a on-campus music video show. So everybody's like very familiar with the whole idea of college radio.
Right. Right.
Basically, this organization was doing college video.
Okay.
And so this guy who's in my dorm, who's a year older, was in the organization the year before. Everybody who was in the organization the year before graduated. And he was like, man, I'm a part of this organization. Last year we was doing an R&B show. This year I want to do a hip hop show. Anybody like into hip hop? I was like, yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm in hip hop.
Yeah, so I was that kid where everybody would come to my house because I used to record Yo MTV Raps, Video Vibrations, Rap City, Rap Week on Video Vibrations. I used to have all the music videos on VHS.
Wow.
Just a huge music junkie. So, and the thing is, this dude, he was a black guy, but from the country. He
What you call the country, man?
Oh no, he was from the country, dog. Like I'm talking about like farms and just
Okay.
like small city.
Literally from
rural,
the country.
like rural Michigan, rural part of Michigan.
Okay.
So so even though he was skilled on the technical side,
Mm-hmm.
but from a cultural standpoint and a relatability standpoint,
None of that.
he wasn't there. So I came with that sauce.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, we started, working together doing shows. So that very first semester, I started, just on the production side, learning video editing, calling record labels and getting music videos and promotional items and all of that. And we started interviewing talent when they were coming in town on promotional tours, doing in-stores. So I started establishing my relationships with record labels.
You remember your spiel when you called the record label cold call? You remember what you say?
Dude,
Come on.
I have no idea. Dude, I'm like 18. I'm literally 18 years old.
Come on, hustler. You don't remember what you used to say?
Dude, the very first call that I made was to Rap-A-Lot Records, which was my favorite.
Houston, Texas.
That was my favorite label at the time. I was a huge Ghetto Boys.
Come on, man. Come down,
all that. Like that was like so.
My mind is playing tricks on me.
Yeah, so I remember like, man, okay, they already had some record labels, but like I said, it was getting all R&B stuff. So I was like, man, we need to get some hip hop stuff. So I started, figuring out, how to get these like phone numbers. And I remember calling Rap-A-Lot, and the dude was just so, and I almost hung up because I was just like freaking out that somebody picked up. It was my boy Carlton Joshua, man, super solid dude, and
he was at Rap. What was his job at Rap-A-Lot?
He was head of video promotions at Rap-A-Lot.
Okay, sweet.
And so one of the things we got to talking back and forth, gave my spiel, what we were doing, what we were looking to do. Told him I was a big fan of the label, wanted to support them, and I remember ending the call with him telling me that, man, you always got a friend at Rap-A-Lot. I was like, man, from there, dude, it was smooth sailing, man.
Yeah, man. Because that's one thing I know about Rap a Lot, man. You know, if he said that, then they follow through.
Dude, I'm talking about solid dude,
They
man.
follow through.
I still have strong Rap a Lot ties to this day.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
To this day. Yeah.
Sweet. That's awesome. So you started making the phone calls, started doing, you were going to New York City every summer.
Yep.
Every summer. What would you do when you go to New York City?
So being that I was a video programmer
Right.
In college, my relationships were with the video
Content creators?
promoters.
Promoters. Okay.
Right. So the video promoters at the record labels or the independent promoters that work with the record labels, those were my connections. So I was like, yo, I want to come out there to New York and do some internships and whatever. So that's what I started to do. I started making my way out there, working basically for food, next to nothing, sitting on, sleeping on my cousin's couch. And,
You had a place to crash. Okay.
Had a place to crash.
Yeah.
Every blue moon, I asked my mother to send me like $20 or something,
Yeah. Western Union?
Dude, Western Union.
Western Union used to be the stuff, man. You go
when I tell you the only thing that mattered was the work. I wasn't out there to party. I wasn't out there to kick it. I wasn't out there, try to go ahead and holler at all the different girls. It's like, dude, I'm like, look, I got a window.
Yeah.
I'm out here. I got to get it.
Right.
I got to go so hard. And it's like, man, I'm going to be the first one at the office, the last one to leave, like all of that. All of that, man. And,
yeah, man. That's fine.
Yeah, so I would split time between, because one of the other things that I, wanted to do was, learn production. Like I said, I always wanted to do, television and film. So I would also split time. I found a production company that was working on music videos and commercials. And I would also split time, interning over there as well.
Yeah.
So like between those experiences, man, while I was in college, that dude, priceless.
Come on. And then you graduate college.
I graduate college.
The next step is?
I pretty much, like one of my mentors who I was working with, she pretty much was like, dude, are you done yet? You need to come back out here, right? Because she was, she actually was, she worked at different labels, here and there, but, the majority of the time I had known her at that time, she had been running her own company. And right around the time I was graduating, she had gotten a position over at Motown Records. And so she was like, man, I need you to come out, like hurry up and get out here to not only help me, over here with the Motown gig, but on the low, I need you to go ahead and keep my company alive.
Right.
Run that, low key while I'm in here with the suits doing what I do. You be over here basically doing both, because, that's the one thing about the industry, man, it's so fickle.
Yeah, you got to get it while it's good.
So she was smart enough to say, hey, I'm not going to go ahead and just give away everything that I, built with my company, my independent company, just to work for this label that may or may not keep me long term.
Yes.
And so I was over there, it was best of both worlds. I'm working at Motown. I'm in that building, working with amazing people like George Jackson. Clarence Avant was in that building.
Okay.
It's like I only saw him once. As I used to be like, man, we got that huge corner office right there, man. He's never here. Because he spent most of his time out in LA. But when he was there, you could tell he was there. And I was just like, man, who is this dude? You know what I'm saying? Because you like that whole vibe where people, look at the documentary now, The Black Godfather.
Yeah.
That energy was there then, but I just didn't know all of the different things.
You didn't know who he was.
I didn't know who he was, but I knew that dude was special. And his assistant was always really nice to me, man. Always.
Clarence Avon. Did you met him once?
One time. Yeah. And it was like, and I would, talk to his assistant from time to time. Like I said, she was really sweet. She, put me on the list around Christmas time. I got my my Motown varsity jacket.
Oh, yeah.
Which I still have. But
you better have it. That's classic, man. You got that from Clarence Avon.
Yeah, dude. So
that's history.
Yeah, so it was just amazing being, just in that space, man. And that time that I spent at Motown, one of the biggest takeaways was learning the concept of interdependence.
Come on, break that down. Break that down.
So we were operating. Our space was the music video department.
Okay.
So our job was to get music videos on MTV, BET, the Box. You know, all of the regional, all of the local, all of the college state. Like our job was to get these music videos from our artists any and everywhere we could go. Obviously, the top, you know, MTV, VH1, you know, BET, like those were, you know, the top tier places that we wanted to go ahead and get the videos on. But, you know, it's like, okay, we need to get this stuff placed.
Right,
I remember one group in particular where we had like the hardest time breaking.
And who was that?
98 Degrees.
Come on.
98 Degrees. Motown had a white R&B male group called 98 Degrees, lead singer, a guy called Nick Lachey.
Nick Lachey. Hey, bro, funny story. I know I play Zydeco music, right? So we're booked at this festival somewhere in, like, I don't know, it might even have been in Michigan. I don't know. What's that? Maybe it might even been at State, maybe. But there was a big festival, like that wasn't it. Big folk festival. Regardless, we were in the same hotel. And they had to introduce themselves to us as, oh yeah, we got a little group called 98 Degrees. You know what I'm saying? And there was some, you know, they had some girls, you know, trying to holler at them, whatever. So I met them. I don't even remember if I met Nick or not.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, because I didn't pay attention to them. I was like, oh, so what y'all do? We sing R&B. I was like,
right.
In my mind.
Right.
But on the outside, I was like, oh man, cool. But inside, I was like,
yeah,
that's 5 brothers just lost a job. and not Nick. You know what I'm saying? Nick famous.
Yeah.
Nick famous for real.
Like for real, man.
For real. So okay, so when you calling people, right? You calling people to try to break them, what they saying? Nah, fam.
Oh man, that was the worst. I mean, I hated making those calls. Like 2 of the jobs I hated most, as far as the industry jobs. I mean, there was one of the things I loved about music video promotions was that, you know, I'm used to being one of them. So a lot of them were my peers.
Right.
A lot of them I've met over the years and was real cool with. So it was time to sort of check in with my peers. But dude, I hated making those calls like every week and like, hey, can you play this video? Can you play this video? Man, come on, man, do me a favor, play this one for me. You know, it was just like annoying between that and publicity. I had like, you know, a couple stints as a publicist and I hated that too.
Right.
Yeah, can you write something about my artist? Can you put them in this magazine? Can you know, it's just, I don't know. I just. But
you know, that all that was, it gave you the experience.
Yeah.
To know what you didn't want to do, but also whenever you had relationships in which you had to be with people who did that for a reason, I mean, for a livelihood, then you could be like, come on, man, I know the job. I did the job.
And that comes back to the whole idea. That goes back to the idea of interdependence, what I learned at Motown, because I realized that we weren't able to get certain videos played if the publicity department wasn't getting our talent in the magazines.
Right.
We weren't able to get videos played if our radio department wasn't able to, you know, get our label, our record any spins.
Right.
You know, and it's just, I start to see like all of these different pieces had to work together in order for us all to be successful. And if it was a department that was lacking, that could kill like that whole album or that whole campaign.
Yeah.
You know, so I literally used to walk around the office and just learn, what do y'all do? What do y'all do? Oh, okay. You know, I would go around to Bev 10 because Bev 10 was there at the time, you know, talking to guys over there and, you know, the product managers. And, you know, I got a chance to sit in with, like I said, George Jackson, who was the president of the label at the time, amazing guy. A lot of people forget about, you know, his legacy. Definitely look him up, George Jackson.
George.
You know, not only was a monster on the music side, but also in television and film. He was one of the producers of Crush Groove. I mean, it was amazing.
Okay.
Great.
Biv 10, like it's in Bell Biv DeVoe's label?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Absolutely. So, and so, like I said, so for me, starting off as a video programmer, and then, you know, I communicate with the promoters. It's like, okay, man, I could be a promoter because I know how the programming side works, you
Yeah, yeah.
know? And when it came to publicity, before I got to publicity, I started writing, you know, for different magazines. I'm like, okay, as a writer, I'm used to publishers reaching out to me and talking to me about things that they want to get written. So when it came time to be a publicist, I knew how to talk to writers.
Right.
So you start to learn all of these different things, and that's where, you know, me as an entrepreneur, you know, I started to, you know, sharpen my blade, because it's like, man, you don't. It's not all about. It's not always about being the smartest person in the room. It's about, you know, knowing what everybody does, though, knowing the functionality. Like, okay, I might not be the best at this particular job, but I can do it if necessary. But I also know, like, okay, when I hire somebody to come in this spot, I know what you're doing wrong, and I know you could be better. You know, and that's one of the things that, you know, when, you know, people want to be entrepreneurs, but it's like, yo, you have to know all the different areas of the game and why every single space is important. And knowing, like, okay, if you suck at social media, you need to hire somebody to do that for you. Because all these things intersect, you
Yeah,
know, and that one thing can keep your project from popping.
yeah. Man, look, yes, definitely. Everybody got to be on the same page, and that's, you know, that's one thing. Like for me, I'm on top of that, man. When I'm working with people, and I give people a chance to do their job. You know what I'm saying? But when I realize that, you know, that I'll be waiting for them, then I just start doing it. If I can't fire them, I just start doing it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, man, I know what you're supposed to be doing. You might not think I know,
Yep.
but I know what you're supposed to be doing. And so I'm gonna go ahead on and handle this, because at the end of the day, if it don't get done, I don't eat.
Absolutely.
And I gotta eat. You
Yep.
know, Vanessa likes, you know, she likes comfort. as,
Oh,
as most women do. They like comfort. And so I've got to, she's liking and loving. And so I've got to make sure stuff shakes, because if I don't do it, if they're not doing it, it got to get done. Okay,
yep.
so you learned interdependence at Motown, working for them, and working for, what's your girl name?
Anne-Marie Stripling, man.
Anne-Marie Stripling.
Amazing, dude.
What was the
Amazing.
name of her company? What was the name? Would I know her company, or was it?
Well, no, it's not around anymore. It's it was Mosaic Music. What was it? Mosaic Visual Marketing.
Okay, sweet.
And
Yeah,
you know,
doing all that.
we still, you know, are connected, man. I mean, dude, I'm telling you, man, that woman, she was everything.
Sweet. And, you know, we'll give shout out to her. Shout out to her, man, for giving you the opportunity. So now you've done your research, you've done your interning, you at Motown. When do we get to King?
So
What did you have to go? What was between Motown and King?
what was me starting to write.
Okay.
And,
we ain't got to talk about that. We ain't got to talk about you writing. Okay, we got that because you solicited writers, then you became a writer. So now you got those two.
So I became a writer before I started soliciting writers, and and the thing is, it was just like it wasn't a fluke, but I had, working in the music video industry, I had a friend of mine. I'll go through this quick. I had a friend of mine who wanted to do a music video. He wanted to do a magazine based off of the music video industry, because at that time we had, like, you know, it was nothing but a thing for a music video budget to be $500,000 or $1 million.
Yeah, all day.
So it was so many dope details going on within the music video industry, but it wasn't like they had like mainstream, like white type publications that would do the bare bones industry type of coverage, but we wanted to do something with more flavor. So he attempted it, and he produced a magazine. I was like, it's all right. I was like, you know what? Let me help you on this next one. And it was just merely me just trying to help him, because being a fan of magazines and reading it, I know how it should be written.
Yeah, the guy who recorded all the videos.
So I started writing. So I'm like, okay, cool. Let me go ahead and help you out. And I'll write a couple pieces for this next issue, which ended up being 4 pieces. One being the cover story of this country dude with gold teeth who was starting to create a buzz and sell a lot of records, a dude named Master P. People, especially in New York, weren't really familiar with.
Right, right.
So I also interviewed Vivica Fox, who was somebody who I had on my wall.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Right.
also interviewed Bill Bellamy, because it was right around the time of How to Be a Player.
Yeah.
And that Lionel Martin directed How to Be a Player, and I was a huge fan of him because he was a massive music video director. I also asked the publicist, can I interview Lionel Martin? And so that's how I started actually writing. And then when it came back, I just loved how my name looked in print. And I was like, you know what, I think I want to pursue being a writer.
Yeah.
And during that time, that was like my resume. Like,
Right.
hey, I got this magazine I wrote stuff in. Can I write more stuff for you in your magazine? And I met one of my best friends, Daytwan Thomas, who is right now, he's the editor-in-chief of Vibe magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, he was a assistant editor over at Double XL. And so we clicked along with another one of my homeboys, Black Spot, who was music editor at Double XL. And they started letting me write. And I wrote my first piece, which was in an amazing issue of Double XL. It was the Great Day in Harlem piece.
Okay.
Remember, but it was like hundreds of rappers all together, like on the stoop. It was phenomenal. And that's how I got into the writing game. And then from there, that same guy, Daytwan Thomas, who's, to this day, one of my very best friends, my daughter's godfather, and I'm godfather to his youngest daughter. He eventually started King.
Now, what's the name of that thing? Let me see if I can find a picture. What's the name of that?
With the Double XL issue?
Yeah.
The Greatest Day in Harlem. It's a black and white cover. When I tell you hundreds of rappers from all over, East Coast, West Coast, this was back in 1998, all gathered up. Gordon Parks was the photographer. Because the original Great Day in Harlem was like with the jazz musicians.
Yes, I remember.
On that same stoop, this time they recreated it with all rappers. Everybody from Run DMC to Busta Rhymes to Big Pun to E40 to like Jermaine Dupri. And that was the very first issue that I wrote in. I had 2 music reviews in that issue. And from there, it was like.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it now to see if I can share it.
Yeah, dude. It was an amazing experience, bro.
That's crazy. Okay, so you wrote for Double XL.
Double XL, which was also Harris Publications, who was the parent company that produced Double XL, was also the parent company of King that gave us an opportunity to create King.
Okay.
And the crazy thing about that, like, dude, we were 26 years old when we started King.
And so you were a founder of King Magazine.
I was one of the founding editors of King Magazine.
Okay, founder. Yeah, gotta be technical.
Oh yeah. Because Daytwan Thomas, like I said, his brainchild.
Yes.
Both King Magazine and Rides Magazine are magazines that he pitched.
Okay.
And got rejected initially, and we ended up leaving the company and start going into doing stuff online, because you got to think early 2000s. That's when like everybody was doing these .coms.
Yeah.
Had millions of dollars he was dumping into them, but had no idea how they was gonna get the money back.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, yo, we need content. So that was like one of the most amazing times in life, right? So I was writing for so many different .coms and getting so much money, I never wanted to go back to print. So when he came to me with this idea of like, yo, we're gonna do this magazine, I'm like,
nah,
man, I don't want to do no magazine. I was like, man, I'm good. I was like, dude, I'm getting this money. Like, because with print magazines, you'll mess around and get assigned something. You'll probably take you about 2-3 weeks to write it. It don't come out on a newsstand for another 2 months. You don't get another check for like another 2-3 months.
Right.
It's like, man, but I could write something for one of these .coms. I could write something and send it today. It's up today. I got a check being processed, and it's on the way. So I did not want to come back to print. So I would have missed the whole thing boat unless this was my best friend telling me, like, bruh, trust me,
you want to do this.
You want, like, he had to talk. Dude, trust me.
He gave you
like,
dude.
So by that time, I had moved from New York to LA.
Right.
Because I moved to New York after college, and the ill thing about moving to LA from New York, finally, all of these New York editors was assigning me stuff.
When you in LA.
When I went to LA, because now they're thinking, oh, one of our guys is actually in LA. Oh, let's have A write it. He can write it. Oh, let's have A write it. And so I was getting so much work.
Wow.
I was getting so much work, and it was a beautiful thing, man. But so by the time, that's why by the time we started King, I was already on the West Coast, which was a beautiful thing. So I was parlaying all of my relationships into, getting, different people for the magazine, different executives, different girls, different brands. So, whew,
Okay.
it was a great time, man.
Okay, so let's start talking about those great times. Okay, first of all, I don't even want to build up to this. Let's just talk about the Halle Berry shoot.
We never shot Halle.
Now, Halle, what you said?
Unfortunately, now I will say I used to run into Halle a lot of times.
That was what we talked about. That's what we talked. My bad.
We wanted Halle so bad.
Yeah.
We wanted Halle so bad, but with us being like a new magazine, with us knowing that okay, you're going to be on the cover, you're going to be in a bathing suit, you're going to be in in like a lingerie. Even though we figured out a way to still make it tasteful and make it acceptable for you to be having these magazines on your coffee table when your girl is there.
Yeah.
It wasn't like these slimy, greasy
right
magazines. But when it came to the higher, upper echelon,
actors and actresses,
like it was more challenging.
Yeah.
So, but we eventually started to get them. Like we did get Tyra Banks.
Yeah.
We did get Janet Jackson. Our second cover we did with, was Gabrielle Union. She was still young but, we got Gabrielle, Lil' Kim, Vivica Fox came on board. So we did get a lot of, at least Neil, a couple of times, but we also broke a lot of actresses, into, coming out of child stars. Like we, Megan Good, Tatiana Ali, Reagan Gomez.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Trina, we shot Trina like probably about 4 times at least.
Right.
It was but Halle, it was definitely chess, man. I ended up getting really, really cool with her manager, and it would be times where I would see her and her manager out, and I would look directly at her manager and talk directly to him.
Come on,
like totally ignoring her. It's like I wanted her so much, I didn't want to.
Right.
Can we please? It's like I would build a relationship because I figured that was the best way to eventually get to her. So he had other clients like Taraji, which we shot.
Yeah.
Talita Smith, who was the mom on the Bernie Mac show, which we shot and took care of. So I'm like, man, let me go ahead and take care of, everybody else so you can see and let her know that we're, top,
legit.
Top-notch, very legit. And yeah, man, never panned out. And one day she broke me, and she was like, "I know you from. Where do I know you from?" And I had to tell her, like, yeah,
So
her and Serena and Beyonce, man, those are like the big 3 that we didn't get.
Her, Serena, and Beyonce.
Man.
So tell the Serena story. That's funny.
Man, so Serena, I remember the first time I met Serena. And I was just really excited. I remember being at a, typical Hollywood party. And I remember seeing her and Venus and, a few other girls just sort of hanging out. I was, some of my partners, and I'm like, yo, man, I got to go. I have to go over there and speak to her. And so, man, that might have been the second time. Yeah, because I think the first time I met her was on the Sports Illustrated shoot. Yeah, so this is the first time I like really, really got a chance to talk.
You were at the Sports Illustrated shoot?
Yeah, because one of the photographers, and that was one of the beautiful things about doing
the body shoot.
No, it wasn't the body shoot.
Okay.
Body shoot. But still, it was a King shoot for Sports Illustrated. I'll say that.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? And one of the photographer who was shooting it, he also shot for us. And that was one of the beautiful things about our publisher. Like they gave us amazing budgets. We shared a lot of the same photographers as, FM stuff, GQ, Sports Illustrated. So that's how we parlayed a lot of these relationships into, meeting with, certain talent, because the photographer like, oh, just come by the shoot and see if we could, start a conversation.
Right.
And, but I remember, meeting Serena for the probably second time. and actually talking to her. And, you know, I was just like, I just kind of got to it like, man, you know, we would love to have you. And I remember at first I gave her my card and she was like, okay, you know, like in the middle of something, you know, she took the card and put it in her back pocket, which was a compliment to me.
Right. You're like, at least I'm in the back pocket. Serena Williams' back pocket.
So I'm watching her though. She like kind of went in the cut. And then after a while, she went in her pocket and looked at it. I'm watching her the whole time. She looked and then she came back over. She was like, oh, no, I can't do King. I was like, what are you talking about? Come on, we'll take care of you. She's like, look, I got too many little girls that look up to me. I was like, look, I've seen you on Sports Illustrated. It's the same, like we wouldn't do anything different. Like I'll make sure that the interview is on point, you're taken care of, and all these different things. But still, in her mind, it was just like, and that's the thing. That's the thing that sucks about when a lot of people look at Black things as opposed to white things.
Come on now, talk about it.
Right?
Talk about it.
You know, so on these white magazines, man, you know, Maxim, FHM stuff was girls in bikinis, you know, girls in, you know, lingerie, you know, like all these different things. And it's like, but it's, you put a Black girl in that same position on a Black magazine, it's just like, oh, you know, kind of, you know, you get kind of scoffed at. And it's like
it's dirty.
Yeah, you know, even though I think we broke down a lot of those barriers because we did so many tasteful shoots.
Y'all did, man.
We handled ourselves in a way to where, you know, the girls really appreciated it as opposed to a lot of the bad experiences that they would tell us about. You know, so I mean, I wish we could get residual checks for all these Instagram models. So I think we birthed a lot of them.
Right.
But
I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, King was the only magazine in the barbershop that I could look at without feeling some type of way.
Bro,
you know what I'm saying?
We prided ourselves off of that.
Dude, it was some really tasty, tasteless. I mean, tasty. What you go to tasty? I can't say tasty with the fact that there's a lot of booties on there. A lot of tasteful pictures and photo shoots, man. Yeah, you know, I mean, think about it. She did the body issue for Sports Illustrated, but she wouldn't do King magazine.
Dude,
butt naked on them.
More than once. You know, and it's like I said, it's just that stigma, man. And the thing is, what people don't, you get people. Oh man, you guys are objectifying women, and you're not respecting. Listen, we're celebrating our women.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At the time, 26, 27, 28-year-old Black heterosexual male who's celebrating women.
Yeah.
You know, and we've heard like so much, and so it makes a lot. Baby, I'm back. I'm tired of magazines. They flatbush sort of thing. You know, when we look at the Cosmos or what was considered to be the standard of beauty, these skinny, like size 0 white women, it's like, yo, for us, nah, man.
Nah.
Yo, we like you having a little meat on your bones, and we love curves. Yeah. We celebrated that, and so we wanted to. When we put together King, we put together the type of magazine that we always wanted to see.
And you know what? King may be responsible. Y'all might need to get some residual checks from all these plastic surgeons.
Like, we ain't got nothing to do with that. We ain't got nothing.
Hey,
we ain't got nothing to do with that. We weren't necessarily encouraging that. We like that.
Hold on. What I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, because you showed the Black female form in its natural state.
Right. So girls who didn't have that type of look,
looking for it.
Gotcha.
And because Black people are the tastemakers for the world, of course, the dominant culture is going to try to assimilate that look, and they're going to figure out how to do it.
And we did have a Kim Kardashian cover too.
See what I'm saying?
We did have a Kim Kardashian cover.
Were you there for that shoot?
I was not. You
was not? Tell me about some shoots that you were there for.
Ooh. Some shoots that I was there for. It's like one of the first shoots that come to mind, which a lot of, especially my coworkers remind me of a lot, is This is an extreme. Let me start with another shoe. Let me start with like Gabrielle Union.
Yeah, and then get to the extreme. Get to the extreme.
Yeah, let me start with Gabrielle Union. You know, for that second cover, Reagan Gomez, like her first shoot was probably one of my favorites. Megan Good, you know, we had her on the cover a couple times. Amazing. Maya, that Maya cover was definitely a game changer for us. And it was also phenomenal. You know, you're doing something amazing in pop culture when people start to, you know, put you in songs. So when the game was talking about Maya in the cover of King, you know, it's a UGK song where, you know, Pimp C, you know, shouted out King, and of course one of my favorites, probably the biggest one was T-Pain. I can't believe it. Put you on for cover on the King magazine, not getting work here. But yeah, so everything from those shoots to I went to Brazil with Snoop. I went to Brazil with Snoop and Pharrell
Oh, you was there for that one?
for the Beautiful video.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was there for that.
Talk about that, man. That's a music thing. Talk about that.
It was amazing, man. It was me getting a call. Dude, you got a passport? You got a visa?
Right.
Snoop about to go to Brazil, you know, to Rio to shoot this music video. He's like, I ain't got my visa. Okay, cool. We got a couple days. We're gonna go ahead and figure out where to fast track it, and we're gonna get it for you. And are you available to go? And do you want to go? I'm like, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience, man. And I've you know, at that time I had worked with Snoop on so many different things, man. So it was, you know, like I worked like so many different projects. So we had like a cool you know, kinship and you know, just being in that space. And what's crazy is I forgot my man's name that used to do Girls Gone Wild at the time.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
John Steve something
I
Francis.
know his name.
Joe Francis.
Okay.
He actually flew out there with them. He like flew Snoop down on his private jet just to hang out, and
Because he knew it was gonna be crazy.
it was crazy. Like so that was crazy.
Well, you talk about
Nelly's tip drill video was crazy. I came to Atlanta for that.
Hey, back up to the Snoop thing. What can you talk about that the NDA don't cover?
Hold on, what can I talk about for what?
That the NDA don't cover.
But you know, it wasn't really crazy. You know what? The thing that it was two things that really stood out about that that Rio shoot. Well, one, just like to see how big hip hop was
in Brazil. Yeah, in Brazil.
When I tell you they had lowriders that they had in the music video, and I'm thinking like, where did y'all get these cars from? It's like the culture had reached them so much they had the same type of cars as us. I met a girl who was on set. A dude came up to me like, yo, can you introduce her to Snoop? I'm like, you know, whatever, you know, every other girl want to meet. She's like, yeah, no, but for real, she has like a tattoo. She has like a tattoo, like of his name. Like, I was like, what? Dude, show me like a tattoo with paw prints leading down to his name. And I was like, okay, come here.
Yeah, cool. He got to see it. I was
like, dude, you got to see this. This is crazy. Between that and yeah, it was like I said, it was just. Oh, at that time, I don't know if you remember, Snoop went a very short stint without smoking weed. He like stopped smoking weed for a while.
Was that when he was Snoop Dragon, Snoop Lion?
No, this is when his kids were young. He was coaching his sons, and he like had this weird feeling about you know, just being a role model and an example. This is when he really started to get into the Snoop Youth Football League, which he still does, which is an amazing thing that he does.
Yeah.
That he doesn't get enough credit for. I mean, they did the documentary on Netflix, Coach Snoop, but even at that time, I knew he was doing it. And he has like, I don't even know how many players that went from his youth football league that he would fund and be there to coach in. He would physically show up to coach.
He was serious about it.
That he sent so many kids to college, so many kids that went through his league went off and played in the NFL. Something like I said, he don't get celebrated enough for that amazing work. But at that time, he was like in a real conflicted time, and he just, you know, stopped smoking weed. He just wanted to, you know, be straight and narrow. But that trip was like right when he was starting to just like, I can't take it. I gotta start smoking again. The publisher was like, yo, don't report this, So that was probably one of the biggest scandalous things that I will talk about
Mm-hmm.
from Rio.
Nelly's trip drill video. How about that?
When I tell you I didn't know what I was walking into, I remember they were like, yo, because at the time that was BET Uncut time,
Uncut. Yeah, yeah.
right? So it was a little different. And so I remember flying out from LA, coming down to Atlanta, and it was like, okay, cool. I forgot which player it was, like one of the Atlanta Falcons house they were doing a video at, and I walked on set, and they were starting to film like the most controversial, what ended up being the most controversial part of the music video. Take a guess.
I don't remember the video. I ain't gonna even lie to you.
There was a scene. You remember Nelly's tip drill video?
Nah, it's a whole bunch of strippers. That's all I remember.
Yeah. So there was a very controversial scene in that video where Nelly had a credit card.
Oh, and he swiped it?
He swiped it in between the girls.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, swiped it. He swiped it.
So that was the first. I walked on set and I'm like, okay, that's what they were setting. Oh, let's do this. And I was just like, oh, okay, this is a little different. Okay. Okay. And it's just weird, man. It's just weird to see. Like I said, that particular time, compared to now. But it was like I said, it was just different, man. It was different. Record labels had money.
Yeah, because
it was
$17.95 a pop.
Yeah, we're selling
a lot of money. Cost them $1 to make, and they were selling tens of millions.
Yeah, man. So it was great, man. Working with the labels and lots of trips.
Wait, before you go to the trips, go back to the wildest video. The photo shoot for King. You said you're gonna come back to that one.
No, it probably was tip drill.
Oh, tip drill. Okay.
It's probably like in terms of just like all of the different moving pieces, and I think that was probably the weirdest thing that came out of it. The swipe. I mean, it wasn't like just. Yeah, it wasn't like it was a like it wasn't. I wasn't on a set of a porn.
Right.
But I mean, it was just basically these girls. They did get a lot of strippers, and that was a part of the shift in the entertainment world, especially in the music business, when they went from video models
to strippers
to the strippers.
Yeah.
When BET Uncut. Which encouraged like, yo, okay, man, we want to get,
how wild can you get? Because it's right. BET Uncut.
And so we actually did a documentary a couple of years ago with BET called Vixen.
Uh-huh.
And we talked about pretty much the rise and fall of, the music video girls.
Yeah. I think I saw that.
Yeah, and within it, we did, we talked about, just the evolution of King and, how, like the concept, how it, came to be, and, just all the different levels and layers and the purpose and what we were attempting to do, with it. And some of the great things that we were able to accomplish. We're putting this publication together. And, yeah, man, it was like I said, just a special time, man.
So talk about how y'all got free from 106 in Park.
Man, so that was an amazing thing. So I, fortunately, I wrote that cover story.
And tell them. See, people are, this is all things music, and we're backstage and we're talking about stuff like that. But King magazine was a semi-skin magazine because it wasn't naked; it was just provocative poses. But they had articles, so the girls could talk about whatever they wanted to, whatever they were promoting, they got to promote it. So it wasn't just objectifying women; it was them using the magazine to promote themselves.
One of the biggest misconceptions is people who didn't, really, just check out the publication, didn't really read it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of words in that magazine.
A lot of words.
A lot of words in that magazine.
Compared to the picture.
Things about entrepreneurship. We had a lot of things about culture. We had a lot of things about community.
Yeah.
A lot of purpose-driven content. And even with the girls, And like depending on the girl, if the girl is in a mood to where she wants to talk sexy, we could go there. But if it's in the mood she wants to talk about, like being an actress or a certain role, or you know, like we can go there as well. And I said something earlier about some of the younger talent that we would sort of transition from being child stars into getting into adulthood. Um, like I said, Megan Goods, Christina Milian, Tatiana Ali. What people don't get is that as we were helping these girls transition into this new space, we had a lot of in-depth sit-down conversations with their mothers.
Yes, yes.
With their mothers,
This,
it's like
this is what they don't get to hear. This is what they don't get to
yeah.
hear.
So it was like, man, and the thing is, a lot of those girls, they didn't want to just always get trapped into that, looking at me like a kid. I'm a grown woman. Yeah, I played on that Nickelodeon show. I did this, but man, I'm a grown woman. I want to get better roles. I want people to take me more seriously. So they wanted to have like a more of a sexier look to show, like, hey, you could cast me in these type of roles. And sure enough, so many of those girls came back after the fact. Thank you so much, man. Now they're looking at me differently. In the same way, I remember sitting with directors and casting directors who would tell me, like, man, we looked through the publication looking for like those next up and comers. And so,
Yeah.
like I said, we had so many amazing, respectful conversations, and we would let these mothers know, like, hey, we're gonna take care of her. Like we got her. Like, tell us, the same thing I was attempting to tell Serena, attempting to tell Hallie. We attempted to tell Beyonce, look, what do you want to do and how do you want to do it? Let's do something creative. Let's do something cool, and we can write the piece a certain kind of way. Like, we're making sure it's gonna be tasteful.
Yeah, yeah.
And we will always deliver on our promise. We will always have continuous great relationships with these girls. Anytime I see anytime I see Gabrielle, anytime I see Megan Good, anytime I see Lauren London, it's all love because we took care of them. Anytime I see their mothers, a lot of their mothers, I would have their numbers in my phone.
Yeah.
And then I would see them out and it would be all love because we didn't violate them.
Right, right, right. Man, that's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
All right, man. All right, what I'm saying? So look, we didn't got it in. We went from young A, what I'm saying, all the way up to college A, what I'm saying? And then we got into Adele, what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then we got into King magazine. So we didn't cover the gambit. So are you still friends with are you friends with any of those women that y'all shot and wrote about? Any of them that you still talk to today? Like not just when they see you, we cool, but like a friendship.
Well, the one that I'm closest to from then, Melissa Ford. We're definitely the closest.
Yeah, she's on radio now, right?
Yeah, she's on radio.
Yeah.
Hollywood Unlocked.
Yep, Hollywood Unlocked.
Yeah, we immediately clicked when we first start working together, and I mean, just so smart, man. Like,
yeah.
really, 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 really smart. So we check in. We still talk quite a bit, and a lot of plenty of other girls I still check in with online. Gloria Velez, we still check in from time to time. Angel Conwell, she's always been super dope.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things to where me physically, moving, like I've been in Atlanta for 10 years now.
Yeah, that took you out of the thing.
And, before, me being in LA, I would run it. I would physically see them a lot more than, even though I still see it, I still see them here from time to time working on certain projects. But like I said, anytime I run into them, dude, it's like we never left.
Yeah, yeah.
Anytime, if I go out there and I'm reaching out because I want to go ahead and just to check in, it's like, man, the numbers, are still good, or the person next to the person I need to get to.
Yeah, they still put you through.
Absolutely.
That's big, man. That's big.
Yeah,
so how are you loving Atlanta, man?
Atlanta's the spot, man. Atlanta, I would love to say that I intentionally came down here because I knew it was going to be this amazing
Mecca.
Entertainment, is Mecca of Black excellence.
Right.
Especially in music, television, and film. I mean, music has been winning, for a very long time.
For long
since the 90s. But now the television and film has taken over this town, man. It was, and unfortunately, I was able to be early on that ride of like the transplants who really started to come down here and, you know, working, you know, all of the different studios they start building, and it's been phenomenal. It's like uh, you know, came down here with Monique, um, you know, the Academy Award winning, you know, actress.
Oh, with Monique.
Yeah, yeah.
So you know my boy Ricky.
Absolutely. Come on, man. That's my big brother, man.
Man, Ricky's the one that told me to that video I showed you.
Yeah.
Ricky's the one that told me to do a video for it.
Oh, for sure. Ricky.
Like the lyric video is cool. He said lyric video is cool, man. Lyric video, but if you want people to see it, man, you want people to see it, you're gonna have to go and do a visual video because, you know, unfortunately we are visually impaired. Okay,
oh,
you know.
Real talk. That's real talk. Yeah, Ricky introduced me to Monique.
Man, Ricky is a beast. I love Ricky. I love Ricky, man. Ricky is the man.
Attorney Ricky Anderson, man.
How you doing? Attorney Ricky Anderson here. How can I help you? How can I help you?
Ooh, an amazing guy, man.
Man, and it's so humble. Because, I mean, you know, we talking to him and Cat looking at me, he's like, yeah, man. He said, Sean, look, see me, people like me and you, we can't wait for these other people, man. We got to move, man. We can't depend on these other people, man. I'm like, people like me and you, I appreciate you putting me in your category, but you a multi-millionaire.
There's one thing I say, man. Ricky's Michigan made, though, man.
Oh, from Michigan?
Made, and like, oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, Benton Harbor, Michigan, man.
Man, I got something else to talk
about. Benton Harbor, Michigan, just like grew up out there with Sinbad, man.
Okay. That's why he's Sinbad lawyer.
Come on, man. Just like his dude.
It's all making sense now. It's all making sense now. Okay, sweet. So you came down there with Monique. So you still working with Monique or no?
No, I'm not. I worked with her I did 2 years on the Monique show. And you know, we stopped working together, but it's still all love. You know,
okay,
still love. I mean, when I tell you, like, dude, one of those amazing people, one of those most misunderstood people that you'll ever know. I learned so much and gained so much, you know, from her. It's like, dude, super forever grateful, you know, for, you know, the way that, you know, she just created an experience, you know, for me, you know, just put me in such an amazing position to win, and just even being a fly on the wall.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A lot of people dismiss the fact of just being there.
Dude, when I tell you, dude, such an incredible soul. You know, such an incredible soul, man.
If you ain't heard it nowhere else, you heard it here before. You heard it right here at All Things Music. Monique is an incredible person, according to Adell.
Oh, without question, man. And the funny thing, it's like it breaks my heart, man. Like when Steve Harvey, you know, that's like my OG.
Yeah.
He's another one of them. You know, from time to time, you know, he gets, you know, thrown under the bus, you know, for different things, but just super pure, genuine. I mean, just forever grateful. Another person that's really, you know, man, who's catching lumps right now, who, you know, doesn't deserve it because he's such an amazing person. Another big brother of mine, Terry Crews.
Yeah.
You know,
somebody else told me Terry Crews was genuine, and they that he helped them out when it was. Matter of fact, one of my homeboys, I think, told me that Terry Crews was like, you know, he was one of the ones who was genuine to his word and helped him out.
You know, he's a Flint guy. He's from my Flint. He's a Flint guy.
Wow.
You know, and I tell you, like, one of the most amazing things, as far as Terry is concerned, bro, when I remember, like, shortly after meeting Terry, I got engaged. And I mean, this dude became my marriage counselor. You know, my premarital counselor, dude, I'm talking about so much game, so much information. Read this book. This is how, you know, this is a book. I'm on my 5th time reading it. Buy one for your girl. Don't buy just one book. Get one for each one of you. You know, it was just like, I mean, just so much, dude, just an amazing spirit. I remember they had like a big, at that time, I think it was like I think they were doing the cruise on BET.
Yeah.
And they had an episode where they celebrate. I want to say it was like at that time, it was like their 20-year anniversary. And I didn't realize at that time it was going to be a part of the show that the show was going to like document it, but they were, genuinely celebrating their 20th anniversary. And I remember this dude like reached out, called me, was like, bro, I need you to come through.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just to come through and experience the experience,
Yeah.
So man, just like as a genuine dude, man. Amazing dude.
That's awesome. Man,
Yeah.
look, I'm gonna tell you right now, man, I'm blessed to call you friend, man. Blessed that you still answer the phone whenever I call, whenever you're not, running that show that you're doing, which I'm about to ask you about now. So what are you doing now with the 20 Zoom calls you was on today? What are you doing now? What can we see you doing now? What are you doing?
What I'll mention now that I'm doing. Now what the thing that consumes my time most, man, is I'm working with a long time mentor, Rashawn McDonald, who was actually the guy who introduced me to Ricky Anderson.
Gotcha.
And who at the time when I met him almost 20 years ago, who was literally he was like the gatekeeper for Steve Harvey. He was managing Steve Harvey at the time.
Okay.
Like when I say just amazing, genuine, brilliant, dude. I mean, when I say, like I said, these people, these dudes raised me, dude.
Wow.
Like these dudes raised me, between Steve, Rashawn, Rick, like raised me. And I met them shortly after we started King. Matter of fact, we only had one issue, and we wanted to get Steve in the magazine. Because like I said, it wasn't all about girls. It wasn't all about just just the sexy, just showing the sexy side of girls. It's like we really wanted Steve at that time to get in the magazine because at the time, this is 2001, 2002. You got to think this is everybody's wearing 4X baggy T-shirts, baggy jeans, huge everything. But it's like, hold on a second, who is this dude that's always in a suit?
Always in a suit.
Who is this dude who hairline is always just really sharp?
Perfect.
This dude, you know what I'm saying, just always groomed to a T. This dude's wearing a suit on a radio. This is before they got cameras in the studio. Why is he in a suit on a radio? So we couldn't understand that. So as young guys who wanted to get an understanding of why that makes sense, like we got to get Steve in the magazine because we really want to know. Like, dude, help break this down for us. Let us know. Put us up on game. Right. So those are the type of pieces. Those are the type of pieces that people never really talk about.
Do you remember what he said?
Dude, I'm telling you, when I tell you that, like, one of the most integral, most important parts of my life changing was that experience.
Really?
Brothers. And sitting down when they finally gave us the green light and told us, man, there's something about y'all that we like. And Steve in particular, like, man, now not only am I gonna allow y'all to do this interview and this photo shoot, but I'm gonna let y'all come to my house and shoot. And trust me, I don't let nobody in my house.
Right.
Dude, this dude had to do it. At that time, dude, he had a spread out in Bel Air.
Yeah. Come on.
And that was the first time I really been in Bel Air because a lot of it's just gated.
Yeah, because you can't get into Bel Air.
Bruh.
You can't get in. You either be going somewhere or delivering something.
Bruh, when I tell you, man, like I said, man, like people just like I said, it hurts my heart when people say anything bad about them, man. It's like, of course, everybody has their moments to where it's like, man, I slipped on that, shouldn't have said that.
But my experience was
that's being human, every one of us.
But I have an experience with Steve, man. We were flying back from Seattle, and we was on the same flight. He was in first class, and his bodyguard what was his name? What was his name? Boom. Yeah, he had his bodyguard thing in front of his old school car. His card. Yeah. But anyway, so big boy, he got stuck to the back of the plane with us. And the plane wasn't full, the flight wasn't full, so he came sat by me, and we was talking and chatting up the whole 4.5 hours to Houston.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, wow. So he got bumped. And then when we got out, I met Steve, and he wasn't standoffish. He's like, hey, what's going on, Steve? He said, how you doing, young man? Cool. He didn't blow me off or none of that. You know what I'm saying?
One of the most authentic, like I've had so many moments with this dude. I mean, so many teachable let me pull you to the side. Let me put you up on this game, like intentional game, not like just, oh, you just caught something that I just threw out there. I would be around for those too, but there's so many intentional, like, no, I'm talking specifically to you. Let me tell you how this is done.
Okay. Wow.
Let me tell you how this is done. And
Sweet. Okay.
but,
Okay. Look, hey man, if you have been watching this and you have not picked up some nuggets, then that's your fault because my man Adell done dropped some nuggets in this piece. And look, man. So what I want to do is, first of all, we got to do screenshot selfies. So let me stretch this thing out. Yeah, screenshot selfie. All right, you ready? You ready? Wait. Okay, do it again. Got it. I took like 3 of them because every time I click it, you move. So it's probably blurry, but I got the last one.
oh man, don't play me, man. Come on, get something. Get one that's not blurred, man.
Hey, I got the last one. Let me see.
It's not blurred? You sure?
That is not blurry. You look just like that.
Let me be sure, man.
Look, you look just like that. Trust me. You all right. So yeah, man. So before you go, man, before we shut this thing down, look, give the people, young entrepreneurs, young artists, young would-be producers, young would-be engineers, anybody who's watching this who has a business or who has whatever, give them a word.
I posted something like, I don't know, probably a couple of months ago, and it came from a song. So I pulled so much inspiration from music. Dude, Murder Was the Case soundtrack. You know, Snoop had a song on there. I forgot who. I think he was on there with somebody. But either way, the hook basically was like, you know, nobody can see you but you. Sounds simple, but when you just really just stop and think about it, nobody can see you but you. And there's so many different ways you can look at that.
I just need you to break that down.
So, you know, my interpretation is like you're in a competition with yourself, man. I mean, that's when you really put yourself on a track to win.
Come on. Come on.
Look at yourself as your only competition. Because when you start paying attention to the noise,
you're losing.
And that's when you're, you know, it's like, remember it was like the, I think it was a Michael Phelps photo?
Yeah.
Of him, you know, in the pool looking straight, and the other people are sort of looking at him in the pool.
He ain't got nothing to do with them.
Dude, I'm in my own lane. Stay in your own lane. Nobody can see you but you. You know, I remember those times when we, going back to King, when we did King magazine, we didn't care what other publications were doing. We didn't see ourselves as in a category with anyone. We did our own thing. We based what was going to happen on that next issue based off of us, what was going on internally. We didn't care. Even in the same building, we was in the same building as Double XL and Scratch, you know, but we paid attention to what we were doing, period.
Bruh.
Nobody can see you but you.
Only compete against your best self.
And that's why, like I said, there's pros and cons to that. You know, because you do have to take time to smell the roses. Every now and then you got to take your time, just, you know, take a break, smell the roses, stop and smell the roses. But at the same time, man, it's like, dude, you are your only real competition, man.
That's fire. Okay. So, okay.
You know what? And I'll share one more thing. And this is like the best game that Steve Harvey gave, you know, on that initial, like, sit down. He helped to transform me from being a night person to a morning person. So ultimately, instead of me going to sleep at 4 or 5 in the morning, I started waking up at 4 or 5 in the morning.
Right.
And that change.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Dude, it changed, like, my entire life, my entire world shifted, going from being a night person to a morning person.
And my wife just typed in, Sean, look at here. First of all, she said thank you because you gave some great information, but then she just typed in, Sean, look at here, because I just met with a friend of mine who's a holistic practitioner, and she broke my entire. She was strumming my pain with the fingers, singing my life with the words. She was killing the game. I was like, wait. She was like, you sleep by power lines, don't you? I was like, what? I mean, in the backyard where the room is, yeah, there's some power lines back there. But anyway, so she gave me a whole new eating plan, and she told me I needed to be in bed for 10. I said, but that's gonna put me waking up at 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. She's like, and I'm like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Because to get to that next level, you got to do what you've never done to get what you never got.
Oh yeah.
So I'm ready to do what I've never done to get what I've never got.
Real talk. Real talk.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna try it. I ain't got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like I did it last night. I got in the bed around 10:30. So I'm working. I'm getting close. I'm coming close. And doing it because we got to make a whole lifestyle change, man. Because whenever this coronation is over, man, everybody who was working during this time are gonna be the ones who are gonna be running when everybody's just trying to start up.
Dude, you ever wake up in the morning and and just taste something? It tastes like your palate is different first thing in the morning.
Well,
right?
Come
or
on.
just or even like when
that thing out. Okay, I'm listening.
Or even when when you eat certain food, you'll go play. Like I love sushi. I'm huge. I'm a huge sushi fan.
Okay.
One of the things that they give you, with your sushi dish often is they give you ginger, because ginger, you put it on your tongue, it helps to clear your palate. So when you're tasting that next roll or that next thing, it's like, it gives you that freshness of being able to
appreciate all the flavors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, it's the same thing with your mind, bro. It's like when you're trying to go ahead and go through an entire day of work, play, handling the spouse, the girlfriend, boyfriend, the kids, all these different things, the school, the job. And then at the very, 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 very end, you're like, okay, cool. I got to go ahead and grind and put in this work for my business or whatever. It's like, dude, it's like you're towards the end of burning out, right? It's like your mind is like, just straining to hold on.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, when I was able to flip things over and start to wake up at 4 a.m.
Right.
Dude, my mind is like fresh. My thoughts are fresh. And truth be told, I'm going to sleep. A lot of times, I'm going to sleep with things on my mind that I need to do for tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And I may not have like all of the answers to like how I want to, put tomorrow together. But dude, if I'm thinking about this stuff on the way to sleep, I'm still questioning whether this is a good or a bad thing. Oftentimes I'll figure out how to work. I came up with a method that somehow I start to work in my sleep.
No, that's legit. That's
right?
legit, because what you do.
So I will wake up with the solutions.
Yes.
Or even as a writer, I would transcribe an interview at night. The very last thing I would do, and I would, figure out like, okay, these are all of the different pieces of the story I want to, put in this new this feature I'm going to write for this magazine. Dude, all of that stuff will work itself out in my head. When I wake up in the morning, it will just pour out.
Yeah.
Your palate is fresh, dude.
I've written songs.
Instead of trying to force it at the end of a day, try to force it at the end of a work day.
Yeah, I've written songs.
When you wake up at 4, your phone's not ringing. You ain't getting no emails. Nobody's texting you. Nobody's coming in there distracting you. At nighttime, you still might get that call.
Oh, I get them all day long.
You might get people coming in from the club or like, yo, what's up, man? What you do, man? You here working? Man, guess what just happened? You're not getting that at 4 a.m. You ain't getting that at 5 a.m. You're so much more productive because it's quiet.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I'm telling you, you are not saying something that is not true, because I'll go to sleep knowing that I have to do something, and like you say, work it out, and when I wake up in the morning, I got it. Now sometimes I won't be. There's an issue that I have that I've been trying to work out, and then at that point, right before you're totally conscious, but you ain't sleeping in that middle section. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you become conscious of your dream, but you ain't up yet. Like I've seen entire performances at that point. You know what I'm saying? And then I get up and I go write it, or I've seen myself getting something done or getting this thing that I've been waiting for, and then it'll show me that I need to talk to this person, or just stuff like that. you know, but yeah, so this was all ordained. I believe God ordained situation where I made the phone call to my boy Brett, who just checked in. I said, hey, man, I need your girl's number. I ain't giving a number out, you know what I'm saying? Because, we can't be bombarding her like that. But I'm definitely going to turn to people who are seriously on to her and help her business out, because she helped me and my wife out big time, bro. So you're going to see a whole new Sean, like, spiritually, because whenever I think, and I know you should be talking, but I'm almost, and I know you're going to have something to say after I say this. We forget that we're three-part beings. You know what I'm saying? We're spirit, we're physical, and we're emotional.
Yeah.
And we generally tend to, if people are really strong in their physical, and then there's the mental, so four-part, okay? So if people, their mind will be strong, but their body sucks, and emotions are everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And the spiritual is just non-existent. Or they'll be super spiritual, but they are super out of weight and on pills and everything, but their mind and their emotions are strong. But whenever you can find the person, or where you can get to the point to where you got all four of those things clicking, that's when you see greatness happen.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? And so my spirit is strong, my mind is strong, my emotions are strong, my body is not. So that's where I'm focusing in. And I'm also taking time to unplug from everything else that's not a part of me getting to my end goal, so that I can focus 100% on that in this season. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like this is the time and this is the season, especially with that song that I released and all the opportunities that I got coming my way, and the relationships with folks like yourself. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just saying, this is just it. This is it. And so I'm going to be going to sleep at the 10, and then waking up whenever it's clever with, with my body, and then getting to work, because there's a lot of stuff that I need to get done right now. Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Very important, man.
And so, okay, so you said what you were doing now? You went.
Okay. So yeah, working with Rashawn, we have a weekly radio show / podcast called Money Making Conversations.
Money Making Conversations.
Making Conversations. It's about entrepreneurship. Slide some entertainment in there. We have a wide range of guests that come on the show.
And what's the name with Rashad who?
Rashawn McDonald.
Spell Rashawn.
RUSHION McDonald. Like I said, dude, one of the most brilliant minds. Like I said, he, when you look at, he managed Steve Harvey's career for 16 years.
Okay.
I was able to see so much growth throughout that time. I was, fortunate to, sort of, see so much of that experience happen, right in front of my eyes, man. They kept me close, which was, man.
Environment is everything. You said it a while ago.
Yeah.
Environment is everything, man.
Yeah. And so, Rashawn, what he was able to do from Steve, when we, first was introduced to Steve, I mean, stand-up comic, Def Jam, funny dude, doing a lot of, the Steve Harvey show, but, the way that Rashawn's mind works, as a manager, and the directions that he took him, like, nah, man, dude, you gotta potentially be a global phenomenon, a global star, right? So his business mind, is what helped, take Steve off into like other spaces.
Right.
So many of us, in this industry never get a chance to go.
Yeah.
Think about, the New York Times best-selling books, and the movies, and Family Feud, daytime talk show. It's like, like Rashawn's mindset, the Hoodie Awards.
Right.
All of these different amazing, dude, I swear, I remember sitting in the studio. This is like, dude, I'll never forget that. I remember sitting in the radio, at the radio station, like after the morning show, I'm just sitting, fly on the wall, just letting them talk.
Yeah.
And I remember Steve was talking, yeah, man. He's like, dude, I just need to go ahead and put myself in a position. He's like, dude, if I could get like 10 million, I was like, dude, that's when you really, just really, that's when you really made it, man. Cause like, you make $1 million, especially here in LA, that ain't no money.
Right.
He's like, man, but you get like 10 million, dude. I remember like at that time, and I'm looking at it.
You like,
man, I'm trying to get that one, but, and just to see now how 10 million looks like that 1 million.
Right, exactly.
Just to see, like, dude, it's been, like I said, just so fascinating. But like I said, anyway, so Rashawn, so instrumental, in, being the brand architect for, Steve's career. Now he's, Stephen A. Smith's business manager.
Man, he need to be my manager, man.
Right. So you've seen what Stephen A. These last few years, his elevation.
Hey, let him know there's a Creole rock and soul artist from Lake Charles, Louisiana, who got a whole bunch of potential and some swag and some energy. You know what I'm saying?
You already got it in. Him and Rashawn, him and Ricky like this.
Yeah, man. So I can't go to Rick and be like, Rick, put me on, Rick. You know what I'm saying? Hey.
You're going to come to me, though. You're going to come to me.
Yeah, because I'm cooler with you. Rick, man, look. Man, yeah. Rick, bruh. Rick. Yeah. Rick is the man, man. Rick is the man.
He is.
You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, but no, I tell you what, you and everybody else wait for me to do the same thing. Once I do something that y'all can take and go, okay, now you done put in the work. Now come over here.
And ultimately, that's what it takes, man.
Because what you said a while ago is the real reason. I was just messing with you by putting me on. You know what I'm saying?
I already know that.
If you want, if you want. But yeah, man, this is so awesome, bro. I mean, this talk was great. It don't even feel like it's been as long as it has, man. People stay tuned in. This is a great time we had tonight, man. Look, y'all give it up for Adell Henderson. Formerly of King Magazine. You know what I'm saying? All the way from the ATL by way of Flint, Michigan, by way of Flint, Vehicle City.
And ending on a music tip, dude. This dude right here.
Yeah.
I end on some music. I remember being, I don't know, maybe 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
And my father gave me a $20 bill. I don't know. I guess I was just being good or whatever. He gave me a $20 bill. Back then, that was a whole lot of money.
Yes, indeed.
And I remember, the money burned a hole in my hand. I spent it all in one place. Dude, at the record store.
At the record store.
Making my very first musical purchases. I bought 3 albums.
Which were?
Very first one I grabbed, Purple Rain.
Okay.
The next one I grabbed, DeBarge's Rhythm of the Night.
Come on.
Next album I grabbed, it was just like, that was I still got some money left.
Right. Yeah, because $20 bought a lot back then.
But at that time, the mood, because I'm thinking Purple Rain, the movie, obviously inspired the purchase of the album. The Last Dragon, the movie,
inspired the DeBarge.
Because Rhythm of the Night was the lead single of that album.
Yep.
The movie. And also the third purchase was inspired by a huge musical moment, We Are the World, about the We Are the World album.
Oh. Man, that's a good way to come into buying music, bro.
Those are my very first music purchases.
Man, I just remember how we was all tripping. We were such big Prince fans, man. So when he did Purple Rain, I remember the music people walked out of the theater just like, man, Prince is a musical genius, man. I can't believe, and I ain't doing films. Oh my God, I want to be like Prince. But we didn't really want to be like Prince. Now that we know how Prince actually was.
Man.
There's a cost. There's a cost.
Dude, there's a cost, man.
There's a big cost, man. And you know, and he was
some balance, man. You gotta find some balance, bro.
Yeah, you got to find a balance.
Find some balance.
Because he gave it all up, man. I can't even imagine. You know, I say I want that, but I think I would do it differently. You know what I'm saying? I think if I had everything, I would do it differently.
Easy to say.
Oh, very easy to say. I mean, I'm saying from the outside, but once you get in, it's. But I'm not tormented like that by having to get all this music out. You know what I'm saying? I'm more about the actual experiences. You know, yeah. Like the performances, I would absolutely be about. I think for Prince, the performances were kind of secondary to putting out the creative project. You know what I'm saying?
But it's like that vault, man.
You see what I'm saying? You know, because his thing was he had to get the music out of him. You know, he had this burning desire to get it all out.
It's a sickness, though, man. Like ultimately, when it comes down to it, man, like all of these, like really successful people are sick. That's the truth. That's the truth. Like the super successful people, leaders, like there's a lot of sickness. There's a lot.
I guess I can't say that either because whenever I go in.
Yeah.
And my wife be like, you know, you have to come up for air.
Yeah.
You got
to. But that obsession.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's not normal. It's like you're in a.
Pray for me. Hey, pray for me then, because.
But really, I mean, the best thing you can do is identify it as being what it is and understand that you have to have your limits.
Well, yeah, and that's why I got my wife. My wife is a very, very, very good reality check for me. You know, and I listen when she, and I listen to her when she pulls my coattail. You know, that's big.
I did not listen. That's why.
See that? But you know, if we'd have been friends, bro, I'd have tightened you up. I'd have helped you out.
But the thing is, it wasn't that. It's like a lot of people attempted.
You weren't hearing it.
No, it's like I do. Like I was on the prize, the wrong prize.
So you already know what I'm talking about. You just let me talk. Man, come on, man. You like, yeah, you say that.
Yeah, for sure. But the thing is, there's absolutely nothing that anybody could have said at that time.
Right, because you were so focused.
Nothing. Nobody could have said anything.
Wow.
Nobody.
So that you just tunnel vision.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And if you're not in that world, you don't necessarily hear them. Wow. So you think if Steve was somebody would pull you aside or Ricky would pull you aside, you'd have been like, hey.
There's nothing that anybody could have done.
Wow.
There's nothing that.
Okay, so now I know what I need to be on the lookout for.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Ultimately, it's the balance, man. You got to find the balance.
I just remembered his name. I think it's Tavesta Scott with Master P. Is it Tavesta? Some kind of team. I think it's Tavesta Scott. He was on Master P's team. He was like the manager or the frontline guy or whatever. Because I
remember GB. I remember
he was on the team doing something. Tall guy, he had glasses. He was on the team. I don't remember his job, but he was one of the ones that got kicked off with Master P because he used to come to the casino all the time. And I remember talking to him, after I tapped out, we was talking because I started talking to him while I was dealing, and I said, man, how does it feel to make $1 million? Because at the time, a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
He said, man, I can't even tell you. I said, what you mean? Because after I made my first $1 million, the only thing I could think about was my second $1 million.
Yep.
I was like, so you didn't even enjoy it? He was like, real talk? Nah. We made the first $1 million, and then we were instantly on to how can we make the next $1 million.
Absolutely. And I'm telling you, if you don't look up and come up for air, it's like, dude, your head would be so busy just being down on the grind. Like, you don't look up, everything else is sort of passing.
Now, you know what, man? You just extended this a little bit, bro, because you ministering to me now. Because, see, where I am in my career and stuff, I tell my wife, I say, hey, babe, I'm going to grind. I say we, but I mean I said that I'm going to grind for the next 10 to 15 years. You know what I'm saying? I said, we're going to stack and I'm going to grind for the next 10, 15 years. Now I see that I need to abridge the way I say that.
Oh yeah. The thing is, like it's certain things you just don't know that in 10, 15 years from now you will know.
Yeah.
And what you're saying right now could sound like crazy. You know, it's like you just got to keep living, keep paying attention, because it's like for me, you know, as I was saying, even though nobody could tell me anything, you know, when I was in a space where I was just sort of, you know, have my blinders on,
Yeah.
the information was always there.
Yeah.
It
Just
was always there.
yeah.
The information is always there. There's always somebody who's been through what you're going through right now.
Yeah.
Always, you know, so, I mean, whatever things that you do identify being a problem, you know, stop slapping Band-Aids on these huge open wounds. And,
Fix it.
you know, like Jay said, you can't heal what you don't reveal.
Come on now.
That's like one of the hugest lines, man. And that's, you know, man, you can't heal what you don't reveal, dude. You know, so it's like once you start talking about it, putting it out there, that's when other people are like, damn, I went through that too. I'm going through that too.
Yeah.
You know, I've been through so many of those situations where I'm like, for real? You know, so now it's like, dude, I try to, you know, do my best to put that information out there, man. You know, even things that, you know, personal, that it's like, nah, man, these are things that I wish people would have told me. So I need to go ahead and put it out there and share it to try to do my best.
Well, you helped me tonight, bro. You helped me tonight, big time.
Yeah.
All right, man. Look. Hey, I thank you. All the viewers, thank you, man. We appreciate you, bro. Adell Henderson, y'all go follow him. How can they follow you on socials?
On Instagram, that's where I'm, you know, most active. Adell Henderson 101. You know,
Adell Henderson 101.
Adell Henderson 101.
Come on.
Instagram. That's where I'm most active, man.
Okay, sweet. Well, y'all go check him out, man. Thank y'all so much for watching, hanging out with us tonight. And the feed went beautifully. It's a beautiful thing, and we don't have all the bells and whistles. With this is a thing that's teaching me right now, right?
Yes,
sometimes simpler is better.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because I had this thing nice and pretty, man. It was beautiful, but then the audio was messed up.
Yeah.
So, you know, we live and learn. We live and learn. Adell Henderson, y'all. We'll see y'all next week, same time, same bad channel, 7 p.m. Central Time, right here on Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitch, and everywhere else. We'll holla.